This is the voice of the soul who was once Dr. Joseph Goebbels. I'm speaking to you today on this anniversary of the birthday of our Führer in the year 2018. It has been 73 years since my last message to the German Volk, the people of the Reich. And I'm reaching out to you wherever you are, all over the world. We've been scattered through time and space into many countries, many languages, many bodies, and many differences of opinion. In this form, in this woefully inadequate form that I am in today, I am deep behind enemy lines in occupied United States. But we're finding each other on the internet or in person or by happenstance, and we're helping each other remember. Something holds us together, this thing that binds us as brothers and sisters, is this knowledge, is this spark of a memory, that even though we might not necessarily remember the details, we still have this feeling that everything that we've been told is wrong. And that we know deep down that there is a truth, that we just have to find out what that is. I'm sure many of you have already seen the documentary, The Greatest Story Is Never Told, and people have different reactions to it. For me, when I saw it, it was validation. My heart burst from my chest with pride, knowing that, see, I was right, I was right. I just couldn't put my finger on what it was. And finding out who I was is a whole other story. And in other messages, I'll get to that. It had to do with the people that I've met in my life who I also knew from the Reich. It was part of my awakening. I say awakening, or rather I should say awareness. And I'm starting to become aware of other incarnations, and in other messages I'll get a chance to talk about that as well. Many of us have been on this soul journey together for many, many lifetimes, through many periods of history. We're not like other people. We have a kinship, and we need to remember. Where we're living in today, the world is much, much harder than it was when we were in the Reich. We no longer even have a country of our own. Though throughout the whole world, people of European descent are being picked off, killed off, bred out, displaced. You know this. So it's not like we can rally together and muster an army like we could in the Reich. We knew, well, I should go somewhere else with this. I once wrote that if the Jews win this war, the world will become a dull and primitive place. Well, I was only half right. The world has gotten much, much worse than I could possibly imagine. I can't even begin to list all of the things. Just look around you. There's all the proof that you need. Now that the evil Nazis were defeated. Look at all the wonderful peace and happiness in the world. There's all the proof you need. I once said that this is a war between Christ and Marx. But I tell you, this is a war between Christ and the devil. And it's a devil that we have been fighting since the beginning of time, through many human forms and many epic battles. It's talked about in our Bible. It's talked about in the book of Enoch, in the Vedas, in the Titans versus the Olympians. It's in the ancient texts of Mesoamerica and pagan Europe and the Zoroaster. As above, so below, as in heaven, so in earth. These battles continue over the human soul, over who has property, or if the human soul or the human beings have the right to self-determination, or are we somebody's property? And many, many times we tried to free ourselves. We almost broke free in Germany. We didn't know what we were up against. We were trying to fight this war with bombs and guns and soldiers. We had the finest soldiers in the world, the Wehrmacht and the SS. But we were up against a battle that was bigger than guns and bombs. But we almost won. We almost won. And had we won, the world would be such a different place. For those short years before the war, we showed the world. We were the light. We were a light for the world. While Britain and America was languishing in depression, and the Russian people were being murdered by their own government under Bolshevism, in Germany we prospered, freed from the yoke of usury from the Jewish bankers. We were able to enjoy the fruits of our own labor. We were able to live, to really live. There was an energy about Germany. There was an energy, just an excitement, a buzz. We fell in love, we got married, we had babies, lots of beautiful babies. And those of you who can hear this message today, we know what that felt like. We could feel it. We could feel it in our heart, what it was like to be German in those days. I felt it. I felt it in a dream. That's what initially woke me up to this. I was kind of aware of the whole red pill thing, but didn't have much of an interest in World War II or Germany. And then I had this dream, and that changed everything. So I'll talk about that another day. I hope I get to speak to you and have many messages, and I hope you reach out to me, and I hope we can figure this thing out together. What we were up against in Germany, well, what I'm trying to say is this war against Christ and the devil, there's a reason that the devil is called the father of lies, or the deceiver. Because I tell you, the most powerful weapon of mass destruction in the whole universe isn't a Death Star or a missile or a bomb. I tell you, it is lies. Lies are the most destructive weapon in the whole universe. If you can get your enemy to believe in lies, then they will supply all of the hardware and resources to destroy themselves. and you don't even need a standing army. And that is what we were up against in Germany, and that is what humanity has been up against since, how should I say, since the battle between God and the devil. In Germany, I, as Dr. Goebbels, was really the first person to be assigned the specific task of learning how to fight a war in this type of medium, truth against lies. And I was up against an enemy who stood on the shoulders of Edward L. Bernays and Sigmund Freud and generations of Jews who are expert storytellers, who have built the foundation of their domination of Europe on the deception of the Goyim. And I believe that I was underutilized. And had I been able to do a little more, I think maybe Germany could have won. But that is a topic of debate and a conversation for another day. I don't really know where this is going to go. We can't raise an army. And I don't think that we're supposed to. I don't think we're supposed to try to fix the world. Because we are not of this world. I've tried to fix the world for many, many incarnations, and it always ended up backfiring. I'll try to explain what little bit I know. When you leave this world, you start to see what this world is really made of. It is just a delicate web of numbers and patterns, algorithms. We're living in an algorithm, and we're having an experience inside of an algorithm. And that's all it is. So there's nothing really for us to fix, except to go within. And I don't even know what that means. I'm trying to figure that out. Because what we really have to do here is change this world from within and remember who we are and wake up from this nightmare. And I know people use the word wake up all the time, like InfoWars, they talk about waking up. I don't mean waking up to the news of the world around us. I think anyone who's listening to this message already knows how bad the world is around us. What I mean is, sometimes when I'm dreaming and I have a nightmare, it'll be so bad that somehow I remember that it's just a dream and I'm able to wake up from it and get out of it. And I think that's what we need to do. We are in a dream. And the only thing that we know is real is ourselves and each other, and the connections that we have with each other in the many forms that it has taken over the many lifetimes. We came together in the Reich, in Germany, in Deutschland, as one people. And I believe that we were one people for quite a bit longer than that. And we are still one people in wherever we are, in whatever form we are. And I know that we have differences of opinions and we argue and fight all the time. And that's one other thing I need to mention. because all of us are suffering, all of us are having difficult lives, relationships, addictions, traumas. Please cut each other some slack. We're not all ever going to agree on everything. We probably won't agree on most things. But we've been beaten on for so many generations, for so many lifetimes, that we've not even had a moment to breathe, let alone figure this out. So try to cut each other some slack and stop fighting each other. Infighting is how the Reich was defeated. There was so much infighting and backstabbing going on in high command, the generals arguing with each other. Meanwhile, the soldier was bleeding in the field. I've seen all of this before. Now, all of you in this alt-right all of your efforts are appreciated and needed. We're all doing our best. We have to cut each other some slack. I'll talk more about that another day too. But I'm getting off topic. Not that there really is a topic, it's just me talking. Trying to reach out to you for the first time. What I was saying is that we are one people wherever we are, in whatever form we are in. We came together as one nation, and we keep that in our hearts forever. Our Führer and our Volk, and that feeling of what it is like to really live and how it could be. And we can do that again. I'm not sure how we're going to get there. But I can tell you this much, that the enemy, they tried to kill us, but we wouldn't stay dead. Sieg Heil, my friends.